qualifier here at the SilverStar Slopestyle by Signature, and it is this woman right here, Alma Wiggberg, the Swedish rider. She's going through her final mental preparations. She has a deep bag of tricks, and we are ready for her to unleash them on this Signature Slopestyle course as Alma pushes out of the gate, the last rider, so she was first place qualifier yesterday, on course now, heading into the whale tail.
Yeah, and again, one of the few athletes that we've seen throwing some combos and backflips. Again, just a testament to how confident she is, biking upside down. We saw the backflip into the whale tail, the suicide no-hander out. First one to flip into that feature so far. There it is, the backflip tuck no-hander. Having to take your hands off mid-rotation while you're completely upside down, somehow manage to find your brake, find your handlebars, and come around. Unbelievable. There we go, T-Bog off of the flat drop. One of the few also trying to throw a little bit of a stunt there on that Signature flat drop. Another combo, getting the backflip bar spin. We've seen her throw those on some of her World Tour debuts, so it's really sick to see her coming out here. I believe that was an opposite bar spin. Couldn't necessarily see too well from my angle, but a bar spin nonetheless. Getting a no-hander off the surgeon's table, off into the last feature. Going for the truck driver. Managed to pull it around. The bar spin wasn't super quick, but the recovery was absolutely beautiful. What a run from Alma.
Look at the reaction from Robin Goombs in the finish line. Our jaws are on the floor. Alma Wiggberg just rose to the occasion. Huge. That was a massive run. The combos, I mean, the amplitude of the tricks, flipping into the wheel, every part of that run just had us nearly speechless. Wouldn't be a good idea if we were speechless out here on the course, because then nobody knows what's going on. But that was incredible from the Swedish rider. She is absolutely pumped. All the friends are pumped for her. I love this aspect of the sport as we go back and look at this replay.
Yeah, and it's not even just the fact of, you know, the intensity of the stunts she's throwing. It's just the level of confidence and the style she throws on it, you know. Look at this backflip bar spin. That's a huge trick. That is a ridiculously massive trick, and yet she's able to pull it around with utter ease. There we go. We got that nice bar spin up into the top on the surgeon's table there, and then pumping down again. Huge, huge suicide no-hander off of there. And this is where it really all came together at the end. She was trying to get that truck driver around, and even though she got hung up slightly, you can see, looks like, yeah, just didn't manage to get that other hand on there quite quickly. She still recovered so perfectly. You know, it's something out of like my calculus homework. I was pretty good at math back in the day, so props to her.
All right, well, score dropping for Alma, a 93.67, a massive score for our Red Bull Joyride champion, and she has just laid down the gauntlet. We've got 2 scores in the 90s already. Alma taking over the top spot. Johanna Nussbaumer now in second, Patricia Druwen in third. Oh, that was just the first run. We are seeing progression live right in front of us. This is incredible. The riding, I mean, the suicide no-hander off the flat drop. When you hit a jump and do that, at least the back up to the top, and Patricia Druwen, she's off a gold medal here last year. She won the bronze event when we had that here a couple of years ago. She has been right at the pointy end of progression in women's slopestyle and continues to hold on to that spot. Patricia Druwen riding out of Germany. You can see just getting her hands comfy on the grips as she rolls in for her first run today.
Yeah, Patricia Druwen, definitely no stranger to the sport of slopestyle mountain biking. Already coming out with the heater. Big double bar spin into the whale tail. 720-degree rotation with the bar. Suicide no-hander out of the whale tail there, Derek. Off on a heater, taking the hands off the bars once again. Big tuck no-hander. You're going to see a few different no-hander variations today. The suicide no-hander, we call that when you tuck it all the way past the bars, versus the tuck no-hander. You tuck those bars into your body itself. There's another really proper suicide no-hander, executing it perfectly. You can see her elbows are completely straightened. Amazing extension there. Toboggan out of the surgeon's table, just looking so confident on the bike. Coming into the last feature, Patricia Druwen. Oh, one-handed X up. Yeah, steezy.
I love watching Patricia ride. She's got so much style, and the technicality of those tricks. She's throwing the bars, like you said, hands off in multiple ways. I can't wait to look at the replay. Maybe, Nick, you can dive into the differences between the suicide no-hander and the tuck no-hander as we take a look back at Patricia's run.
Yeah, again, and there's that double bar spin. It's more than enough just to do the one, but she says, no, we're going to go for 2, especially on one of the most difficult features to link up. That whale tail feature, you got to land so perfect on that landing. That landing pad is not long. So if you're a little bit deep, you lose speed. If you're a little bit too high up, you're also going to lose some speed by casing that rear end. Got the bar spin up onto that surgeon's table, tricking every feature, and the judges are going to love that. They're going to appreciate it, and they're definitely going to reward it in her score.
Yeah, and Patricia had a little bit of trouble on this last feature yesterday with a bit of a case, but the one-handed X-up, no problem with the speed, clearing into the landing. So clean run for Patricia Druwen, and 86.17. A huge score here for Patricia Druwen as she rockets herself into the hot seat. That is a massive run for twice. And to recover if you feel like you need to. There's just so much that goes into it. All right, we're rolling on. Yesterday's second place qualifier. This is Johanna Nussbaumer riding out of Germany, having a blast on this course. You can see the focus, the determination, the grit. The German slopestyle squad is absolutely firing right now, and Johanna a huge part of that as she kicks off her first campaign down the slopestyle course today.
Yeah, we saw the bar spin into the, wow, we saw the single bar spin into the whale tail from her qualification run, but they're up in the difficulty, getting the double, just like Patricia. Beautifully executed 360 onto the step up. To the average viewer, it might not look as big as a backflip, but tossing a 3 on a bike is so much more difficult because you're not going with the whip at the jump. You're not going with the lip. You got to toss it in what seems like the most ironic movement to make that trick happen. Huge suicide no-hander to a bar spin. She held this suicide no-hander for an eternity and still had the audacity to get the bars around. Bar spin up into the surgeon's table. Little T-bog. I couldn't really see too well with the shadow there, but believe she got a T-bog on the surgeon's table. Off into the last future. Tuck no-hander to a bar spin. What an absolutely righteous combo to finish off her first run here at the Crankworx Summer Series course.
That was a huge run from Johanna. She is just taking a deep breath there in the finish line as it almost looks like she can't believe what she just did. That was absolutely massive. Tricked every feature. We're seeing combos, late combos too. Looking back at the replay here for Johanna, starting off with a double bar into the whale tail, so risky.
Yeah, and you can see it's just the subtleties of it too. It was the X-up, and she didn't just do the X-up on the exit of the whale tail. She did a little table, a little tweak of the bike, and you know, that little bit of class is going to resonate so well with the judges. And here, there's that suicide no-hander. I thought it was just going to be a sui all the way through, but no, she came back, brought the hands to the bars, pulled it around for the bar spin, and finished off again with another variation of a no-hander, the tuck no-hander to a bar spin. So many combos, so many subtleties, a really stylish run from Johanna.
Well, this sport is just exploding. It's happening right in front of our eyes, and these women are leading the charge. It's so exciting to watch this happen. Give them a chance on a course like this. A 91 for Johanna Nussbaumer. That is huge, and she is pumped with it. You see her put her hands together in gratitude for the crowd, for the judges, and save a little bit for yourself there, Johanna, because that was incredible. So we have a new leader sitting in the hot seat. Johanna Nussbaumer sitting on 91 points. Patricia Druwen in second with 86.17, and Robin Gooms with 79.67. But we're not done. Nick, we are not finished, crowd. We still have yesterday's top. Got a little bit more to offer, and he's going to go for a full redo as he goes back up and tries to lock in at least on what he did yesterday.
Yeah, and up into the top here, we got, obviously, David Godziek, one of the most incredible riders on the scene right now, most decorated athletes in the space. What this man is capable is beyond that of Einstein's brain itself.
All right, well, Godziek is dropping in, heading to the whale tail. He blew our minds with his run yesterday, and let's see what he's got in store for us today.
Yeah, coming into that whale tail feature, starting off, huge double tail whip, cashy out, textbook landing. Only athlete we've been seeing throwing that on that feature. Front flip onto the step up. Oh, that was so composed. That big cash roll out of the whale tail was gorgeous. Textbook landing on it. Signature flat drop, 3 whip, trying to mirror Lucas Huppert on that one again. So difficult to pull that to pedals. And there it is, the textbook twister tuck no-hander. You need so much momentum to pull that stun around, so to take your hands off is absolutely outrageous. Again, the flat drop backflip, the bar spin, and onto the last feature. David Godziek coming out, cash roll, tail whip, what a heater. Oh, Derek, that was absolutely astounding. Again, to have the audacity to not only do 2 full rotations on a forward off-axis rotation and then toss a tail whip on it. And we even saw him skeet scat his handlebars at the end once he caught his pedals. Just a testament to how comfortable he is hitting that stun. Yeah, there we go. Entrance, the double tail whip. Again, your bike's doing a full 720-degree rotation. He's almost fully buttered 90 off of that lip, off the whale tail when he's going for that cash roll off. And there again, catching the pedals beautifully. So much airtime left when he finishes up that 3 whip. And there's still definitely a few points that if he wanted to, I don't think he will have to, but there's some points where he could definitely improve upon. You know, add a couple different combos, variations. We saw the single front flip off into the step up there, so maybe adding something into that feature set, but only time will tell.
The cash roll with the tail whip is just, it's outrageous. It's so difficult to do one of those tricks, to combo them together. It almost doesn't make sense. Score dropping for Godziek, a 92-8-3. So David Godziek, the last man on run one, taking over the hot seat from Tobey Miley. Right now, Godziek, Tobey, and Lucas Skjold is your 1, 2, 3 after run one. That was unbelievable. Mirroring his execution yesterday, doing it. It'd be easy to land on the podium today with the runs that we're seeing here at the SilverStar Slopestyle. Back we go, another German rider, Tobey Miley. This guy was a standout yesterday, third place qualifier, blowing the doors off the track. The rest of the competition just looking on, kind of in awe at Tobey. He's looking to earn himself a spot into Red Bull Joyride. There's so much at stake here, and of course, winning a gold medal here on the Brett Reeder designed signature slopestyle course means a ton to these athletes.
Yeah, Tobey really dialed in qualification. Such a fun rider to watch. Big amplitude, cork 7, come on. Cork 7 into the whale tail, 360 double tail whip out. First one to opt for the cork 7 into that feature. It is a narrow landing, so to opt for something that can pull you either direction, especially the direction that you're spinning, is bonkers. Dude, that was gorgeous. Going for the 360 Indian Air seat grab, paying a little bit of homage to his fellow teammate, Eric Fedko. Truck driver down, a little bit of a bobble. Gonna have to take a couple of cranks to clear this next booter. Still going for the double backflip, tuck no-hander. What a recovery by Tobey Miley. Coming into that surgeon's table, big double tail whip, massive flat drop, bar spin backflip. He is on one, off into the last and final feature. Tobey Miley coming in. Double 360 downside whip. That was stunning.
Oh yeah, and he is feeling it. Tobey into the finish, and the emotions just come pouring out as he is so fired up on that run, just stoked beyond belief. Every single piece, and like you said, Nick, he had a little bobble, but he was able to recover from it and right into another banger, holding on to the speed. He's a big guy. He carries a bit of momentum. Incredible moments here from SilverStar.
But definitely focusing in on that cork 7. That is such a risky trick, and also just to be so sorted and not dizzy after 2 full rotations to pop the 3 double tail whip is impeccable. And then we saw that textbook 360 Indian Air Superman seat grab, and it was crazy. Again, I can't imagine getting a little bobble in my run off of that flat drop and still having the audacity to not only toss a dub backflip, but toss a double backflip tuck no-hander. And forgive me, I called that a backflip bar spin. That was a backflip X off of the surgeon's table there, and this is where he pulled it all together at the end. Sorry, I miscalled 2 shots there. That was the 360 windshield wiper on the last feature. These guys are throwing these tricks so fast and in such an effortless manner that it doesn't even seem real.
The score drop in for Tobey, and it is a 90.50. So yeah. Tobey Miley taking over the hot seat from Swedish rider Lucas Skjold. Tobey, the first rider into the 90s that we've seen today. We got a big podium situation shake up there as Tobey Miley now sitting in first, Lucas Skjold in second, and Dane Fulp in third. A big statement for Jaden as he just laid it down well inside the top 10 in this international field. Back up to the top, Swiss rider Lucas Huppert. He is pre-qualified for Red Bull Joyride. Lucas, we know he can get it done on this course. He's sitting just outside the 80s right now in 9th. He's going to want more than that. This man is always hungry to stand on a slope-style podium, and he is pushing out of the start gate now, easing his way into run number 2.
And one of the few people to mirror those double tail whips together, which is so difficult, so technical. You can see he's opting for the double bar spin in the backflip on that one, getting the double tail whip out of the whale tail, perfectly executed. Into that step up now, going to see the opposite rotating direction on that tail whip. Again, it's mirrored. It's so hard to throw your opposite direction trick and make it look exactly like your regular direction, but he's putting it down with utter class and utter steez. 3-whip on the flat drop. Him and David Godziek, the only one to make that happen on that feature. Pulling the twister. Full 3 rotations, 1080-degree rotation on that one. Will also dip in his head forward. 3 down whip on the surgeon's table. Vocal cords are taking a beating on this one, getting a huge stun out of the surgeon's table as well. Lucas onto the last feature. Front flip double bar spin. What a wicked run from Lucas Huppert.
Oh, that was huge. Definitely stepping it up. You know, these riders, they often don't show all their cards in run number 1, and Hoopy blowing the doors off there on run 2, adding elements on nearly every feature, some of the most difficult tricks that there are out there in slopestyle. So Lucas Huppert, incredible second run there. This is a man who is not afraid to step into the pressure, to lean into it and show that he has more in run number 2. It's so hard to do that psychologically as we take a look back here at his run 2.
Yeah, and up in the difficulty on that entrance stunt as well, opting for the double bar spin that time around, and you can see that is his regular direction tail whip, and then he comes in and tosses it to the opposite direction here on this step up feature. So difficult to do. The ambidextrous nature of these athletes just added to another token of their athleticism. And here we saw the twister. Like, how do you get the momentum for that, Derek? You get 3 full rotations off a jump of that size. It's astounding. And then here is that truck driver down out of the surgeon's table, and you can see he had so much speed coming into this last and final feature to toss around that front flip double bar spin. Sets it perfectly off the takeoff, tucks in the saddle of his bike to keep it near his legs, and gets that double bar spin around, no questions asked.
All right, well, Hoopy getting it done out on track. He was sitting in 9th after run 1, just scratching at the 80s with that 79-point run. Wow, I mean, he has just stepped it up again. There's a reason that this man is a mainstay on the international slopestyle scene, on the Slopestyle World Championship Tour. Lucas Huppert definitely showing what's possible on this course. The rider's given the canvas to do it. An 87.83 for Hoopy as he slides himself all the way up to the podium in 3rd. So a big statement there. And Hoopy is stoked. That's a huge run for the man.